A pleasant good morning to you. It is Friday, April 22nd. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. Barbados' preparedness for this year's hurricane season is underway. The Department of Emergency Management has decided to advance preparations, getting Barbadians ready a little earlier this time around. It follows an active 2021 hurricane season where Barbados was hit by Hurricane Elsa and also a freak storm which caused some unexpected damage across the island. So giving us an update on plans this time around is the Deputy Director of the Department of Emergency Management, Danielle Skeet, joining me live here on the Morning Report. Danielle, great to hear from you again.
Thank you, Shane. Pleasure is mine. Always happy to be here.
Appreciate
So
your.
yes,
You go ahead. Go right ahead.
yes. So we're shaping up to have another very active Atlantic hurricane season, with a predicted 19 named storms and 9 hurricanes expected. Now, of those hurricanes, 4 are expected to be major, and of course, as we've heard endless times over the years, it only takes one of these to set a country back years. So what we're doing this year is that we're making sure that our preparations, our hardcore preparations, are completed well ahead of the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is June 1st. And this is not to say that, this is an ongoing thing. We are continually looking to see how we can improve as soon as the first impact has finished, right immediately after Elsa last year, we did start to prepare again. We wanted to see what went wrong, what went right, etc. So, one of the things that we're definitely doing at this point in time is that we're making sure that all of our national plans have been reviewed and updated. We're testing and upgrading any equipment that needs to be tested or upgraded. And we're ensuring that our human resources are trained in procedures and that they're aware of what needs to be done and at the time that it needs to be done.
Okay, so these would be considered those hardcore preparations. Talk to us about those lessons learned from Hurricane Elsa, and is it because of that impact that the DM decided, you know what, we need to get this right a month earlier?
Okay. Well, it isn't solely because of Elsa. You know the type of year we had last year. It started with ashfall in April, and
Indeed.
then very early in the season, we would have been hit with a very strong tropical wave, which we've now dubbed as our freak storm. And that happened quite early up in June. So we realized, obviously, we're working under a framework of comprehensive disaster management. So we do have to be ready. And these things really came very close to each other. One of the major challenges that we would have encountered last year, though, after the passage of Hurricane Elsa, was the large numbers of Barbadians who were impacted by Hurricane Elsa in terms of property damage. So we had several persons that would have lost their roofs, they would have had infrastructural damage. And this, of course, meant that our response times in some cases took longer than we would have wanted it to. So we've assessed those mechanisms that we would have used that last year with a view to improving them. And this, of course, includes increasing the number of trained damage assessors that we have within our system in order to speed up the time that it takes for government to respond to the needs of its more vulnerable persons.
So talk to me about getting that right. So we saw what Elsa did. Are we satisfied this time that Barbadians are a bit more ready? Are Barbadians taking on the information coming from the Department of Emergency Management? Your website, www.dem.gov.bb, has been very active even outside of the hurricane season. Are Barbadians getting the message?
I think that they are. I think that they are getting the message. And unfortunately, our best teacher is experience. And after the experience that we had last year, first with the tropical wave in June, and then with Elsa and with the ash, I think that people are even more prepared now. They understand what can happen, they've seen what can happen. And so they are more prepared. We are getting our calls
Can
with
hear you.
regards to people, they want us to come and speak to them
Can hear you.
on how they should be prepared on a personal level. So we're looking at that. We're trying to encourage people where they can to make sure that they fortify their houses, make sure that their roofs are on as securely as they possibly can. So yes, Shane, I do think that the message is getting out there, but of course we're not going to stop. We will never become complacent and believe that that it's 100% perfect.
So we have just over a month to go, Danielle. What else needs to be done in the DEM's opinion?
Okay, well, what I think needs to be done is we have to ensure, as you said, that that message gets out and that it resonates with people. So, of course, we want on a personal level that while we at the national level are reviewing our plans, we want Barbadians to also have their family plans in place. And these family plans, Shane, should include provisions for your pets and your livestock, to make sure that they too are safe, in the event that we have the passage of a hurricane or a storm. We also, of course, things that we ask you to do every year, make sure that you keep your environs free of debris, because this debris can block waterways and inevitably this can cause flooding. Last year, we also had a lot of trees that fell, and we want to ask people to do a check around their property to ensure that any trees that need trimming, that you get that done. Of course, any trees that have branches in power lines, you will call the Barbados Light and Power for assistance with that. But as long as those trees are not, the branches are not in power lines, you can feel free to go ahead and have those trees trimmed. And any trees that look like they're on the verge of falling, it may just be best to get those trees removed, altogether, in the event that they may cause damage later on as a result of high wind or land slippage.
Yeah, before you go, I got to ask about the hurricane shelter stock. Looking at that and the readiness on that side, is Barbados ready now? We saw what damage Elsa did. It was unexpected and it cost Barbados millions and millions of dollars. Is Barbados ready for that kind of storm again or even stronger event?
I think we're as ready as we can be. Let me say that. We have done our assessments on all of our Category 1 shelters, and that will be released to the public shortly. Those shelters, we've ensured that all of those Category 1 shelters, they will have generator power. They do have water supplies, potable water supplies from water tanks, etc. So we really are doing the best we can with what we have. And I think that, as always, the mechanism has worked and it continues to work. Of course, it's not a perfect mechanism, and that's why each year we do our annual reviews and we take stock of what went wrong and what we can do better.
I know we're still living in the pandemic, but continue the good work, Danielle, you and your team there at the Department of Emergency Management. And for those of you members of the public, you can go on their website, www.dem.gov.bb, for additional information. And as Danielle said, more of that will be coming your way in the days ahead leading up to June 1st, the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Danielle, thank you. We salute you. Thank you for your time. And you be safe until the next time we chat, which will be pretty soon.
Thank you, Shane. Always a pleasure.
Danielle Skeet is the Deputy Director of the Department of the Emergency Management, acting right now as Director in her position. We'll take a break here. We have COVID-19 updates and an update on the war in Ukraine coming your way. Right here on the Morning Report, we've been talking about the possibility of getting back to the classroom for students in light of this surge of COVID-19 cases that we've been seeing over the past few days. Well, we got some answers yesterday from the Ministry of Education, and we're hearing that the blended approach for students and teachers will be utilized once more when the third term gets underway next Monday. Classes will end at 2 p.m. and many of the protocols implemented last term will remain. Education Minister Kay McConney made the disclosure during a nationally televised media conference. Here's what she had to say.
On Monday, April 25th, Term 3 officially starts. Teachers go in on the first day. Students go in on the Tuesday, the next day, the 26th of April. Now, due to our capacity constraints, not all schools, not all students can go back face-to-face on April 26th. But everyone will receive instruction from April 26th. So while not all students will be face-to-face, all will receive instruction.
And the Education Minister wants to see the vaccination rate for eligible students increased beyond the 50.7% mark. To achieve this, she explains a mobile vaccination unit and program will be rolled out.
The Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, along with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we are collaborating to make sure we can deploy a vaccination bus that will then be going to schools to assist us in raising the level of vaccination. I want to encourage you, parents, I want to encourage you that when you see the link come to your mailboxes, please click on the link and sign your child up for vaccinations. This is important that you do this, not just to get them vaccinated, but also in indicating your consent. You allow us to plan.
And speaking about the surge in COVID-19 cases, there were 547 new cases reported yesterday as the numbers remain high this week. That number included 223 males and 324 females, as recorded on Wednesday from the 1,645 tests conducted by the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. In other figures, the number of people in isolation facilities was 71, while 3,353 people were in home isolation. And we are also learning that the death toll from COVID-19 has climbed to 387 following the death of a 99-year-old man yesterday. He was fully vaccinated. The revolving fund of the Pan American Health Organization has delivered more than 41 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines. The deliveries were made in partnership with the COVAX facility and with the supply of donors as well. Director Dr. Carissa Etienne of PAHO says that while there isn't a sufficient amount of supplies of COVID-19 vaccines to meet the demand everywhere in the Americas, some countries and territories continue to lag behind.
We have learned that supply is just the first step. And that's why PAHO is working closely with countries to also provide technical assistance, planning, and communication support to fill the remaining gaps. COVID-19 vaccines work, and they are very safe. They are protecting most people in our region from the worst consequences of COVID-19 infection. We need to extend this benefit to everyone in the Americas.
Dr. Etienne urged the countries in the Americas to integrate their COVID-19 vaccination efforts into routine immunization campaigns.
When we first rolled out COVID-19 vaccines, countries set up emergency systems to get these life-saving shots into arms as quickly as possible. And now we can leverage this infrastructure and merge it with our routine immunization systems to make it more convenient and accessible for families to catch up on all their shots at once. This month, for example, PAHO's revolving fund has delivered some 15 million doses of influenza vaccine to 9 countries of the region that continue to strengthen their vaccination efforts.
Several COVID-19 vaccines in Guyana, with the exception of the Chinese-made Sinopharm vaccine, are set to expire soon. Despite this, the Minister of Health there, Dr. Frank Anthony, has promised more will be made available to the wider public.
Dr. Anthony spoke during Wednesday's COVID-19 update, but he failed to provide the expiration date or the number of vaccines that will go to waste. Currently, the vaccines available here are AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Sinopharm.
I think more and more people are pivoting towards the Pfizer vaccine, and we have adequate supplies for that. And we do have Sinopharm. When we bought it, it had very long expiry dates, so that would go till 2023. But many of the other vaccines have relatively short dates, so that's something that we have to be constantly vigilant on to make sure that we are minimizing loss due to expiry.
Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony also revealed that Guyana is looking to increase its human papillomavirus HPV vaccine rate during the annual vaccination week starting on April 23rd.
Let's go further afield now. Hong Kong eased some of its tough social distancing measures yesterday as health authorities there reported a daily COVID-19 infection total well below the 700 mark, yet again reflecting the improving situation that has prompted authorities to go ahead with the first phase of a staggered reopening plan.
In one of the world's most congested cities, the partial relaxation of COVID-19 restrictions couldn't come soon enough. Families have been rushing into theme parks, savouring a semblance of normality. It's more than 100 days since basketball was banned, but for these players, it feels longer than that.
It's happy to be here again. Like, it's been half a year, so it's happy to be here again.
To be able to get back to court and to start playing, it's a start.
But while bars and beaches remain closed, restaurants can now stay open longer. But one owner says his industry has paid a heavy price for the government pandemic strategy, which has seen around 2,500 eateries close since early January.
It's not the policy itself, it's the lack of clarity, it's the confusion and chaos, the flip-flopping that's been quite sort of frustrating for us. Even if there's a spike in the number of cases, I hope the attitude is that we have to live with this now.
Hong Kong's standing as Asia's premier financial centre was already under pressure before the fifth wave. The European Chamber of Commerce says that up to half its members are considering leaving Hong Kong, in part because of its tough coronavirus restrictions. One expert, though, doubts they'll all go through with it.
It's easy to leave, it's more difficult to come back. They're considering leaving, and probably after some due diligence, they realize that Hong Kong remains to be a vibrant financial center.
Hong Kong's airport was once Asia's busiest. It's now eerily quiet. On Monday, no flights arrived from outside Asia. Airlines are banned for a week if 3 or more passengers test positive for COVID from the same flight. And everyone entering the territory must quarantine for a week in a hotel. Many other countries in Asia, including Singapore and South Korea, have opened their borders to fully vaccinated travellers who no longer need to quarantine. That, in turn, is helping their economies to grow again. But Hong Kong, like mainland China, is sticking doggedly to what it calls a dynamic zero infection strategy. That means eliminating the virus rather than learning to live with it. It's a strategy that many economists warn could damage Hong Kong's economic future.
To the war in Ukraine now, and the U.S. President Joe Biden has announced an $800 million package in new military aid to Ukraine, pledging to accelerate assistance to the country in response to a new phase of Russian invasion.
This package includes heavy artillery weapons, dozens of howitzers, and 144,000 rounds of ammunition to go with those howitzers. It also includes more tactical drones. In the past 2 months, we've moved weapons and equipment to Ukraine at record speed. However, with this latest disbursement, I've almost exhausted the drawdown authority I have that Congress authorized for Ukraine in a bipartisan spending bill last month. In order to sustain Ukraine for the duration of this fight, next week I'm going to have to be sending to Congress a supplemental budget request to keep weapons and ammunition flowing without interruption to the brave Ukrainian fighters and continue to deliver economic assistance to the Ukrainian people.
It's Friday, time now to go over to Wendy to find out what's happening as we take you into the weekend right here on Morning Barbados. A lot happening over the weekend yet again. Wendy, how is it looking there?
Well, Shane, as you said, there is a lot happening over the weekend. Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers. Today is actually World Earth Day, and we have a number of people along in terms of organizations that are doing their part for the environment, and they'll be telling us all about what they're doing, because this year's theme, Shane, is Invest in Our Planet. So we're going to find out how we as individuals should be investing to ensure that we keep planet Earth alive and moving for all of us. So details of these stories and more ahead this morning.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We'll see you in a few minutes' time. The Prime Minister, Mia Moore-Motley, has been speaking at the IMF Springs meeting. We'll hear what she has to say, and also the director of the IMF as well, right here on the Morning Report. An International Resilience and Sustainability Trust has been set up to assist developing countries in their recovery from economic, environmental and social shocks. The managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, made the disclosure during the IMF Spring Meetings debate on the global economy. She says $40 billion has already been allocated to the Global Fund, which will provide concessional financing to help those vulnerable nations.
Mia, I have a piece of really good news for you. You have been championing the allocation of concessional finance not only on income per capita, but also on vulnerability to climate shocks. And today at the discussions we had, the Resilience and Sustainability Trust, which will provide long-term maturity, finally financing to vulnerable middle countries, got a big boost. We signed up already $40 billion for it.
Meanwhile, in her response, you heard the managing director of the IMF referring directly to our Prime Minister, who has been championing the cause for this funding. Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley renewed her call for the Bretton Woods institution to engage greater reforms that address the economic injustices that small states face.
The reality is that with a high debt framework, as most of our developing countries have, as small island developing states, not because of profligacy, not because of corruption, but largely because of having to take on our balance sheets the consequences of the actions of others, we feel that the time has now come for us to make some decisions to change it. And Kristalina, you're absolutely correct about the Resilience and Sustainability Trust, and we thank you for it. And in fact, it's a right step in the right direction. It's the only step thus far that acknowledges vulnerability, but we need the World Bank and the development banks to go further with us.
In other news, we hear that Dr. David Estwick and Dr. Ronnie Yearwood will contest a special election for the presidency of the Democratic Labour Party. Interim leader Steve Blackett made the announcement during a news conference yesterday at its George Street headquarters. He also outlined the steps forward for that May 1st election.
The inauguration of our president will take place on Friday, May the 6th, here at headquarters, and that will happen between 6:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. And that will also include an induction ceremony of our recently inducted members who have joined recently. We will also provide an opportunity for them to be inducted.
In sports, a 13-year-old Hannah Wilson has created history by becoming the youngest player to win the Barbados Chess Federation's Ladies National Championship. She upstaged more seasoned opponents to win the title in exciting fashion when the championship concluded at the Coles Building on Bay Street in Bridgetown in what turned out to be a virtual final in the final series of the round-robin contest. Wilson needed a win against front-runner Julissa Figueiredo and pulled out all the stops to defeat the 2018 Ladies National Champion in a 4-hour duel and put her name in the record books. Wilson, the number 4 seed, ended the round-robin event with 7 out of a maximum of 8 points, and in the process became the youngest person to win the championship. The previous youngest was Roshana Blenman, who was 14 when she was crowned champion back in 1993. That's sports. Time to look at weather. It's 25.2 degrees Celsius on the outside. It's looking pretty fair. It's feeling like about 25 degrees Celsius as well. The relative humidity is 75%. The barometric pressure is 13.2 millibars, and those winds are coming out of the east at 28 kilometers per hour. There will be a high tide this morning at 27 minutes to 8. The low will be around 16 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. Seas are smooth to moderate in open water. Swells are peaking at around the 2-meter mark and steady. It will be partly sunny here in Barbados today with a few brief isolated light showers. And tonight we will have a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. And here's a look at the international weather forecast. That's it for the Friday edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. I'll be seeing you at 7 with headline news. Up next is Wendy Burke with Mornin Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados.
Hello and good morning to you. It is a fantastic Friday and I'm hoping that we're all up and cheery because there's a lot to give thanks for today. Today we celebrate World Earth Day. Yes, good morning to you. I'm Wendy Burke this morning. Now, given that today is World Earth Day, Maria Marshall, who's a UNICEF youth champion and an environmental activist, wants us all to play our part in protecting this earth.
As children, we start out so curious and caring, but what happens to us when we get older? Every living creature on Earth serves a purpose, whether we see it or not. They all help to keep the crucial balance on this planet. Earth is our home, and we are all family, and we are all responsible for it. We must think of the future, not just for what we want now, but what is truly the best for the future of those that are coming after us. The earth is so beautiful and so majestic, a real miracle in time. We must invest in our planet Earth. Invest some time keeping the land clean. Invest some effort to plant a tree to help clean the air we breathe. Invest some ways to grow your own food. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and repair. Invest in ways to reduce your carbon footprint. Invest in some resources in keeping the ocean clean. Remember, we only have one environment, and we must protect it.
That's little Maria championing the cause. But there are also a number of others among us who are very similar to Maria, and we should all be encouraged to get there. This morning, my guest for World Earth Day is from the Walkers Reserve. She's Elise Roster, and she's the program manager of WIRED. What does that stand for? The Walkers Institute of Regenerative Research, Education and Design. Good morning to you, Elise.
Good morning, Wendy. How are you?
I am well this morning, and you seem to be in your element because you're among flora and fauna.
Always, always.
Yes.
We love the green.
Excellent. Now, WIRED and partners are hosting the Walkers Reserve Earth Day Eco Market. It's going to be a celebration for Earth Day at the Walkers Reserve coming this Saturday. Tell me about this Eco Market.
Yeah, so this is the third edition of our Eco Market. We started the market at Walkers Reserve in February, and we're really excited to be recognizing Earth Day by hosting this edition of the Eco Market. We are partnering with sister organizations Slow Food Barbados, as well as the Caribbean Permaculture Research Institute, and all our visitors can come see us from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., where we have lots going on. We have the market itself with a plethora of vendors that will be selling things like food, jewelry, handcrafted items, all locally sourced, all locally made, and a lot of them will be from community members in St. Andrew. We also have composting demos because we're teaching people about growing food at home in their backyards and using nutritious soil to do that. We have a nursery on site where people can buy fruit trees and herbs that we will have at special prices. And we have a kids corner as well, so that there's going to be activity for the entire family to participate in.
Now, these activities that you're putting on, they don't just pop up and appear and do themselves. No. But your institute is a charity, and you were born out of a quarry. Explain that to our viewers.
So we love to talk about this journey of regeneration. So we are actually based at what people would know as Walker's Sand Quarry, or, more locally, the Sand Hole, that has been open for, quite a number of decades. And we have actually started the restoration of this site over the last 10 to 7 years. So what does that mean? We've done a lot of replanting with trees and grasses, and we build habitats, where birds can come in and nest. We have birds coming from as far away as Canada. We have lots of things that we do on a daily basis, from planting to to irrigation, to monitoring. So we're collecting data to ensure that we are actually regenerating a site that was really, a sand pit into something that people can come and enjoy, but that's also increasing the climate resiliency of Barbados and is also a model for this type of work in the Caribbean region.
Okay, excellent stuff. Now, apart from what you're doing, can myself and other friends come visit, get tours? What happens in terms of knowing the story and being able to continue to preserve our earth?
Yes, so we're very happy to have launched tours at Walker's Reserve late last year. We have a team, a tour manager that leads tours. So actually, if you come by tomorrow for the market, we have special tours that will be on offer. So we have a driving tour where on every hour, we will be taking people out for a 30-minute tour. So it really is a taster. And our tour manager and tour guides are fantastic. They will give you a history of the space. They will tell you about the flora and fauna that you'll be seeing as you drive through. Or you can decide, if you prefer, that you would do a self-guided tour where we give you a map and you actually adventure throughout the space. So I think, it's important for people to understand that we have various activities that they can involve themselves in, and tours are something that we're very proud to be offering right now.
Okay, now you talk about saving the degraded landscapes. I remember growing up this sandhole, you used to see a huge mounting of earth, of sand in front of you. And over the time, it has just been degraded, eroded, it's lower, we stop mining. But how possible is it really to regenerate things like a sand quarry, things like a gully, things like a swamp? What do we as individuals need to be doing, firstly, to stop the degradation, and then two, to rebuild?
Well, that's an excellent question, Wendy. I think the first thing is really that we need to educate ourselves. And, Wired, we talk about it being an institute, and we talk about education. So we are, within the parish of St. Andrew. So we really start at home. We start with going out to schools. I mentioned Slow Food Barbados, our sister organization. They have created a lot of school gardens where we're informing children about what it takes to plant, what healthy soil means, what composting means, what recycling and reuse and all of those things mean. Because, these are words, but if we're not showing people practical ways of how they can include them in their day-to-day lives and day-to-day behaviors, then we're not really doing our jobs as environmentalists. So I think, public education, community empowerment, that's the first step. The second step, again, is making this into, daily habits and then changing behaviors as a whole. So we do have a lot of initiatives on site at Walker's Reserve where we're collecting data, where we're looking at the various types of soil we have, what we need to be putting into the soil from an organic perspective to make it nutritious. So we're ensuring the trees that we're planting and the various plants will actually survive. So we have members of our team that are more academically minded, where we get into the science of things, and from there we're able to package those offerings and teach people how they can do this in their day-to-day lives. So I think the education aspect is, you can't emphasize how important enough that is. But then through these various initiatives that are fun as well, the tree planting, the cleanups, people come in and see how their actions are making a difference, and that encourages them to do, to do that more and more often as well.
I'm glad you spoke to people and educating, because St. Andrew happens to be a parish that suffers a lot from soil erosion. And yes, I'm just wondering how big a role can Walker's Reserve play in trying to assist? I mean, we have the very Soil Conservation Commission in the parish as well, doing its work. Yes. They said trees you talk about, that's a big part of things for them. But also we talk about a lot of grasses. People assume that something looks like overgrown bush, but it might actually be keeping the soil under their feet.
Yes, so we have a term called nature-based solutions. And I think, I like to say that we have been doing things that are, good for the earth for generations, and we've moved away from that because of convenience and other factors. So we work very closely with the Independent Parish Committee in St. Andrew. You know, the new chairperson, Michelle Springer, she has been an avid supporter of the market and what we're doing at Walkers. So we really try to get the community involved, because at the end of the day, this space, you know, we are stewarding the transformation, but it's about the community coming in and seeing what they need to do to make sure that they are keeping their homes in a way that is going to serve them and then serve the wider community of Barbados as a whole. So you spoke about grasses. There's something that really is, you know, almost like a magic wand, where we use couscous grass or vetiver grass to really bind the soil. The roots of this grass go as, you know, far down as 20 feet, you know, if they are properly planted, and that really pulls the soil together. And you'll find that a lot of landscapers have started using this type of grass again to really install, you know, their gardens and make sure that there's sustainability with the soil, and also, you know, making sure that that is keeping it together. And from the grasses, you can then add different types of plants and trees, and then you're looking at stabilizing soils in a different way to if you did not use this type of grass, these types of solutions. So it really is quite simple sometimes. You know, we don't want to overcomplicate things because we want these solutions to be accessible, but it really is about showing people how to put these practices into action.
Okay, and now for our market, we're going to be investing in the planet, but we're also going to be investing in some fun come tomorrow.
Yes.
So what time
Yes.
should we turn up?
So we're open as early as 8 a.m. We actually have a beach cleanup that starts at 7, but we had a sign up for that. We're fully booked for that with volunteers. So I invite everybody to come down to Walkers Reserve from 8 a.m. We'll have lots of things. You know, we have a community chef called Marguerite. She'll be there with her fish cakes and bull jowl. I'm licking my chops for that. I'm very excited. And then we have other vendors that will be selling things like jewelry, bath and body care, candles, local art. You know, we have a plethora of things that will be on offer. Again, all locally sourced, all locally made, and we've had a lot of artisans from the community put their hands up saying, I want to be involved. So they're very, very excited. As we go through the day, we have that kids corner. So parents, if you're concerned that your kids might be a little restless and have nothing to do, we'll be teaching them how to plant seeds. We'll be singing soils. We also have one hall from a group called PM Splash. We'll be doing some live painting because we've started a mural at the reserve, and then we have composting demos. Our nursery is open for plant sales. So there's a lot. You know, people always say, you know, St. Andrew is a little bit out of the way, but, you know, we're encouraging you to come up and have some fun. Spend some hours with us, spend your Saturday with us, and really leave enriched for the experience.
And enriched in all ways. I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning, Elise, you and the folks there at the Walkers Reserve. I wish you a happy Earth Day. I know you're doing your part, and we encourage all of Barbados to do theirs too. Have a great morning.
Thank you, Wendy. You as well.
You're welcome. That was Elise Roster, the program manager of Wired. Now, I help clean up Barbados. Will you? Yes. And we have about, what, 800 volunteers now? But there's still more work to be done. Look around your community. Clean Up Barbados 2022 is hurricane season. You would have heard about that in the news. We're in the dry season now, and we need to ensure that our gullies and our gutters and our wells remain debris free. So come this Saturday, they will be out and about. You'll see them in their Clean Up Barbados 2022 shirts. And we would have heard yesterday we have an abundance of individuals registered, but you can still give a hand somewhere in your community. Somewhere you're going to see a rubbish pile that shouldn't be there. Do your part. Yeah, just pick up a cup. Tell your friend don't throw it through the car window. You know, let's just keep this island clean. It's beautiful, it's serene. St. Andrew itself is lovely, but make around you lovelier as well. Remember, we're investing in our planet. We'll be back after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And as we told you, today is World Earth Day. And we have some other people who are interested in bringing some sustainable projects to Barbados. One of them is the Iris Project, and it will be launching soon. To tell us is Shay Greenwich, who's the Executive Director of the Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust, and Alanita Atama. She's a member of the Iris Project Global Advisory Panel. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Happy
Wendy.
Earth Day.
Yes, happy Earth Day to you
Happy Earth
both.
Day.
Yes. So let's get excited about the iris. We know the iris is that part of our eye that's just so vital. So I suspect this project is just as vital. Let's hear from you first, Alanita, because you're the global advisor. Why did you decide that it is something that Barbados could benefit from?
You know, one thing that I'm always about is young people and people all over the world, can get this opportunity to be part of Iris Project. And basically the Iris Project aims to empower young people. I know that, in Fiji, I'm from Fiji, and as just in like an island, is also an island, and I trust that the Iris Project but will be beneficial for young people in islands, Barbados, and Fiji.
Okay. And Shay, how did you come to be working with Alanita on this project?
Well, actually, Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust, we became a nominating partner this year with the IRIS Project. The IRIS Project is actually in collaboration with Global Green Grants Fund. And this project was established in memory of one of our co-founders' daughters who had a tragic accident when she was 15 years old. And so we wanted to do this in honor of Iris. And Iris, she was always very well connected with nature. I unfortunately did not ever have the chance to meet Iris, but we are doing this in her memory and her honor. And we are here to give young Barbadians a chance to champion the environmental causes that they're just so passionate about.
Now, how are we going to go about doing that? What are some of the activities, some of the initiatives, what the young people have to do to become a part of the IRIS Project?
Well, our young Barbadians can go to the website, either the Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust website or directly to the IRIS Project website, where they would be submitting their applications. Now, what we're doing, Wendy, we are turning and transforming young people's advocacy and activism into action. And this is going to be done through funding. The IRIS Project is searching for 3 young champions to award 3 prizes. Now, the first prize is the seed prize, and this is going to be $5,000 US for an idea that you have that will champion protection of your environment. And then there's also the second prize, which is the STEM prize. The STEM prize are going to be awarded $10,000 US. And this is for an idea or a project that is already existing on a small scale, but you really just need an injection of fundings to take this even further. You can apply for the IRIS Project Prize, which is the STEM prize. And thirdly, which is the grand prize, which is the IRIS Prize, that is going to be $15,000 US awarded. And we don't want Barbadian young people to miss this opportunity. I mean, we saw earlier at the start of the program, one of our youth champions, you just have to be between 14 to 24 years old to be considered for the IRIS Prize. You can either have, as I said before, an idea, which you haven't yet started. You can have a small existing project, or you can have an established project that you know is easy to scale and it's replicable. We want to support our young people. We're not only just investing in our planet, Wendy, we're investing in our youth. They are not only our future, they're our present. And we want to give them that opportunity now through the IRIS Project.
Okay, if I can go back here now to Alanita in terms of the youth and these types of projects, what are some of the great ideas that we've seen born of these young people?
You know, young people, they come up with so much innovative, creative initiative, you know, in nature restoration and just, you know, protecting the environment. One project that I do is in my community, I create awareness and I advocate for the use of sustainable, reusable sanitary pads. You know, just simple projects like that that encourage sustainability through our communities and having people be the forefront of, you know, empowering our communities is, you know, is a great initiative that young can do. And you know, and the unique thing also I wanted to add with what Shay said, the unique thing about this iris project is that we not only give, you know, seed money and with the grants, give peer mentoring and capacity building training for young people to further their projects, even those who have ideas that try and apply for this prize. You know, we can give, you know, as advisors, we have experience to peer mentor and also give trainings on capacity building for our young people to expand and, you know, be creative about their projects.
Okay, so that's awesome because I guess the end goal, Alanita, is that what they do in the individual communities then spreads to the wider society, ultimately the country and its protection. And I guess Fiji, just like Barbados, is a small island developing state with its own challenges in terms of climate change and the resilience that we need to be showing. So we definitely need to get them on board. Now, Shay, you mentioned that they can log on to the two websites to sign up. But what are some of the things that they need to know when they're about to make that application in terms of how they should be presenting it, processing it?
That's a great question, Wendy. Our young people, I want them to keep it simple. You know, don't try to, you know, have a convoluted application. It's really about the simple steps that you're taking. I don't want any of our youth to think that their idea is too small or, you know, maybe it's not as significant because I'm only doing this one small thing. No, just have all your ideas put together. If you're working with a team, you just need to decide, well, who is going to be the leader of that team in the application process. And that's the best advice and preparation that I can give to our young people going through the application. No, the application is going to be closing, Wendy, on June 14th. So we really want to give young people enough time to really, you know, think their ideas through and put their applications together so that they're not rushed and pressed for time and feeling that stress going through the process. So I would say to our youth this morning, no idea is too small. No idea is too small. Just go for it. And you can visit those websites again. Our website is www.barbadosenvironment.org, and you can also visit the irisproject.org.
Okay, so 2 bites at the cherry. I'm glad you mentioned that groups can also be a part of it rather than just individuals, and that prize money could possibly be split. Alanita, do you see a lot of young community-based organizations, whether it be through school, church, etc., coming forward to be in the initiatives?
Oh, definitely. We encourage, you know, young organizations and young people from different backgrounds, you know. We were also encouraging diversity, and the global advisory panel, the committee, you know, the advisors, they're we're trying our hardest, you know, to outreach through social media, to the different platforms that we're on, you know, whether it be climate change or platforms that is considered, you know, on environmentals, and we're just trying our best to reach as much organizations. And this is just not, you know, focusing on one region. We're focusing on reaching out to all young youth-led organizations around the world. And we're so we're very encouraging. If you have organizations is and you're a young full of vibrant young people and you're youth-led and youth-centered and champions of preserving nature, please, we encourage you apply for the great opportunity. We're here to protect and restore our environment and leave this world a better place. And I strongly believe that young people are a group of people to lead this initiative, of protecting our world. And yeah, and like I said, we encourage young people and young people organizations from different backgrounds to take this opportunity and apply.
Well, they should be the ones helping to lead the charge, Alanita and Shay, because it is their world. It will be left for them, and we all believe they have a voice and a say in what type of world is left. We all as individuals need to reduce our carbon footprint. We need to ensure that we can reduce, reuse, and recycle as much as we possibly can, plant a tree, help clean up around the environment around us. Just let's make it wholesome for everyone and help to save planet Earth. Now, there's something, your prizes, Alanita, are very attractive. And I want to know who assists the IRIS project with its funding, because protecting and preserving is not easy, especially given the level of damage which we now need to try to reverse. So who are some of the players that come forward and assist the IRIS project in being able to give young people this level of funding?
So, I would like to take this opportunity, on behalf of every young person, I want to acknowledge Iris's parents, just allowing us, to help us young people. In memory of Iris and with her love of nature, and we just want to thank his parents for giving us for people around the world take in memory of Iris this initiative and apply for the prizes and give young people the opportunity like Iris to preach and to love our neighbor. So we have different organizations that have helped in creating this pool of fund. And for that as well, I would like to acknowledge them again. Thanks.
Okay. I want to thank you, Alanita Atama, joining us from Fiji, and Shay Greenidge, who's the Executive Director of the Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust. Ladies, continue to do the work you're doing for the environment. Have a happy Earth Day and a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome. When we come back after the break, we'll have a news update with Shane Seeley.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you again. I'm Shane Seeley with your headline news. Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley says the visit to the island by 6 members of the U.S. Congress has strengthened the island's ability to move forward on substantive issues discussed during this trip. The 6-member delegation, led by Chair of the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services, Maxine Waters, arrived in Barbados on April 18th to reinforce the strong U.S.-Barbadian bilateral relationship and explore opportunities to expand and access the financial services and banking sector in the Caribbean. Ms. Motley sees their visit as a signal of the maturity of the friendship and relations between Bridgetown and Washington, D.C. Prime Minister Motley extended thanks to the U.S. for recognizing the bonds that cement the two nations. Ms. Motley was speaking during the farewell reception now at St. George Washington House.
The Congressional Black Caucus, we met today. Many Barbadians may well remember that Shirley Chisholm was the first black American woman to enter Congress. But more importantly for us, she had the courage to say that I can run for president, and became a candidate in an established party. And those of you who have the fortune to go back on YouTube and watch her speeches or read her books will recognize the courage which she displayed and the very clear and forthright manner in which she spoke, and many of the issues which she related to 50 years ago in 1972 are as valid today, regrettably, as they were then.
And there you heard Ms. Motley saying that Barbados will join with the U.S. in honoring the life and contribution of Shirley Chisholm on what would have been her 100th birthday on November 30th, and that will be in 2024. The Department of Emergency Management is now in a better position to respond in the aftermath of hurricanes and other natural disasters. This has been confirmed by the acting director of the DEM, Danielle Skeet. She was speaking exclusively on the Morning Report. According to her, preparations for this year's hurricane season have been advanced, and the new sense of urgency in responding to the needs of Barbadians is just one of the lessons learned from the passage of Elsa, which hit Barbados as a Category 1 hurricane last year. That's why the DEM has enlisted the services of more damage assessors.
After the passage of Hurricane Elsa was the large numbers of Barbadians who were impacted by Hurricane Elsa in terms of property damage. So we had several persons that would have lost their roofs. They would have had infrastructural damage. And this, of course, meant that our response times in some cases took longer than we would have wanted it to. So we've assessed those mechanisms that we would have used that last year with a view to improving them. And this, of course, includes increasing the number of trained damage assessors that we have within our system in order to speed up the time that it takes for government to respond to the needs of its more vulnerable persons.
The acting director also revealed that assessments on Category 1 shelters has been complete over a month ahead of the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, which gets underway June 1st. She says the list will be released to the public soon.
We've ensured that all of those Category 1 shelters, they will have generator power. They do have water supplies, potable water supplies from water tanks, etc. So we really are doing the best we can with what we have. And I think that, as always, the mechanism has worked and it continues to work. Of course, it's not a perfect mechanism, and that's why each year we do our annual reviews and we take stock of what went wrong and what we can do better.
The blended approach for students and teachers will be utilized once more when the third term officially starts next Monday. Classes will end at 2 in the afternoon, and many of the protocols implemented last term will remain in place. Education Minister Kay McConney made the announcement during a televised national address during a press conference yesterday. Here's what she had to say.
On Monday, April 25th, Term 3 officially starts. Teachers go in on the first day. Students go in on the Tuesday, the next day, the 26th of April. Now, due to our capacity constraints, not all schools, not all students can go back face-to-face on April 26th. But everyone will receive instruction from April 26th. So while not all students will be face-to-face, all will receive instruction.
And the Education Minister wants to see the vaccination rate for eligible students increased from the current 50.7%. To achieve this, she explains a mobile vaccination program will be rolled out. Another death from COVID-19 reported here in Barbados as the country continues to register a spike in the number of new cases. The latest casualty was a 99-year-old man who passed away yesterday. He was fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, there were 547 new COVID-19 cases registered in the latest dashboard. We are seeing that number included 223 males and 324 females as recorded on Wednesday from 1,645 tests conducted by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab. In other figures, the number of people in isolation facilities was 71, while 3,353 people were in home isolation. And that's your headline news for this Friday, April 22nd. I'm Shane Seeley. It's back to you, Wendy.
Well, thank you, Shane, and do have a happy Earth Day today. And do your part for the environment, yes? Now, we were talking about how busy this weekend is going to be with all of the cleanups, with the show coming off, with the St. Leonard's Boys, a number of different things ongoing. But also ongoing this morning, there's something for our animal and pet lovers. It's called The King of Paradise, and it's being put on by Purina. It's going to be at Green Acres, number 49, the Bell St. Michael. Now, if you have a dog that you want to have judged in the show, you can do a same-day registration. The gates open at 3 and the event starts at 5 p.m. All bully breeds are welcome. It's on Sunday. You can come on out and be a part of the show. All COVID protocols will be in effect, and it will be hosted by Simon Chow and Lucky Line Caribbean. Judging is Mr. Nico Cristino. So if you're part of this world, go on out and enjoy. All bully breeds are welcome. That's Sunday, April 24th, gates opening at 3 p.m., number 49, the Bell St. Michael. We'll be back after the break. Get near your phone lines.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's time for Spell It with Pediasure. Are you going to spell it in 30 seconds?
And it's time for you, little ones, to spell it with Pediasure. Now, when you call me at 228-5562 or 228-5563, I'll give you a word. If you can spell that word in the time, you will win a prize. You're winning with Pediasure. It's all the goodness you want in a bottle, all the vitamins and minerals essential for your little bodies. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. How old are you?
9 years old.
Okay. Now this is your word for today because it's World Earth Day and we need to be grateful. The word today is grateful.
Grateful?
Yes. Go ahead and spell.
Okay, spell it now?
Now. 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead and spell the word.
Okay, Grateful.
Go again. Hello, are you there?
Yes, please.
Yes. So what's your name?
Nadia Clark.
Okay. You have won your prize. Just stay on the line. Grateful was our word and she spelled it correctly. Stay on the line, give your information to our producer and they will let you know how mommy and daddy can collect that prize.
It's time for Spell It with Pediasure. Are you going to spell it in 30 seconds?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we're back. As we told you, it's World Earth Day. It's time to celebrate. They're looking to invest in the planet. So do your part in terms of that investment, whether it be composting, recycling. You know, we have the recycling bins and so on. And also, we're going to be investing in our future in a different way this weekend when we have the Mr. Executive Challenge, which is going to be put on by the St. Leonard's boys. It's going to be at their school auditorium this Saturday at 6:30. We are ensuring that our males are ready for the world of work. They understand etiquette, grooming, how to present themselves in an interview, dress code, those types of issues. And they're also going to be going on a date because chivalry is not dead. And at the show, you will have a performance coming from the winner of Beige to the World. You'll be getting to meet some of the other placers in the competition a little later in our show. But now it's time for us to speak with Earthen Vessels Ministry International Crusade. And our guest this morning is the senior pastor at that ministry, Rosalind Allen. Good morning to you, Rosalind.
Good morning, Wendy. It's great to be with you this morning. It's a privilege, and we don't take it lightly. Thank you so very much.
Yes, we can't take anything lightly in these times we're in. Now, you
know,
all,
it's true.
earthen vessels, who are you and where are you located?
Okay, right now we are located in Kingsland, but actually, here's a little news, a little secret. We are in the process of getting our own building. It's a wonderful place, and we're really excited about what is in the future for us. But you asked me a question, who is Earthen Vessels Ministries? And I want to say, I don't want to be too long, but I just want to let you know that we are we've been in ministry for quite a while. We started off as a prayer group, more than 13 years ago. And we prayed for 7 years until I was approached by a very senior apostle in Barbados who told me that the Lord had called the ministry, called the group into establishing a ministry, and we've been going ever since then. I need to say, for Wendy, that we believe in helping people. We are a ministry with a heart for the people. And just recently, we even in the midst of the pandemic, we've been helping people and giving. And, just recently we did 34 baskets to needy people. So we are about people.
Okay. Yes. Now, being about people, you are launching into a crusade. And one of the ministers at your church is Nadia Clark. Welcome to you, Nadia.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados.
Yes. Now, Nadia, tell me a bit about the crusade, where it's going to be done, and its time frame.
The crusade is going to be done in the area that's right next to the canteen. And it's going to run from this Sunday that's coming, April the 24th, to Tuesday the 26th. And it's going to be from 7 p.m. to p.m.
Okay. Now, if I could go back to Senior Pastor Aline here. Now, we're in the midst of COVID. Why a crusade at this time, and why the community of deacons? Why has that been selected?
Okay. First of all, let me say right now that we understand that people are hurting. People are needy. People want something to hold on to. And the thing that is most secure is a relationship with the Lord. So even though we're in pandemic mode, we are definitely going to be practicing all the required protocols. We're not taking that for granted. We believe in prayer, yes, but we also believe that we obey the laws of the land and we do what is necessary at this time. So, we're asking people that are coming to the crusade to bring their own chairs. We're not going to be jumbled up together, sitting close to one another. We're going to be spaced out. People will be in their cars. People will be, and I do know about the community in Deacon's Farm that they are excited. They're opening their windows. They're staying in their houses. They're looking out. They're coming out on the front. So it's going to be an exciting time, but within the current situation. Just observing all that is necessary at this time. But people need hope. People need hope. And Wendy, let me say that we as a church, we love. That's one of the things that we are concerned about. We are concerned, yes, about people, and we are concerned about getting the gospel out there in these difficult times.
Okay, if I can come back to Nadia here in terms of that gospel, what are some of the themes that we will get to hear firsthand in terms of spirituality at this crusade?
Okay, well, as Pastor Ross said, really and truly our goal is a simple one. We're going out there, we've been called by God, by Jesus Christ, to share the gospel to all nations. And that's essentially what we're going to go there and do. When Jesus was on the earth, one of his his calling really was a missionary calling. And we believe that it's our responsibility to follow in his footsteps. You know, we really want to get out there and we want to share the good news of Jesus Christ. There are so many people that are lost out there. So we want to let them know that Jesus Christ, first of all, that Jesus Christ loves them. We want to let them know that regardless of the situation that they're going through, that there is hope beyond this earth. You know, this earth is great with all its trimmings and all its frills and all of that. But there is a greater purpose for me. There is a greater purpose for people in Barbados. And that really is to develop a relationship with Jesus Christ. And really and truly, that's why we're going out there, to share the good news, to share the gospel, you know, and it's really going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome event. If you look at the lineup of speakers that we have some very powerful speakers coming out to share the good news this upcoming weekend.
Okay, and it's going to be a packed weekend. Now, will your crusade also take us down towards, you're not going toward Heroes Day, because I think the hero we need most now is the Lord.
Hey,
absolutely.
Well said, Wendy.
Absolutely.
Well said. Well said.
You know, but crusade is our first crusade for the year, but we're going to be having other crusades throughout the year. And as a matter of fact, this is not the first crusade that Earth and Vessels Ministry International has had. We've had numerous crusades in the past. So over the balance of the year into next year, you can certainly look out to us being out there and doing what God has really called us to do.
Okay. Now, earlier, Pastor Aline said that they're not going to be encouraging the jumbling and so on. But when we hear the word crusade in Barbados, that's what we expect. We expect to see that large tent pitch, the pastor on his megaphone, and all of the chairs put out so that, you know, the flock can just walk in and feed on the word of the Lord. But you're going to be doing it a bit differently. You want to reach the people in their homes, Pastor Aline.
Amen. Yes, Wendy, thank you for highlighting this. And really and truly, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. We are taking 18 chairs. That sounds crazy. 18 chairs. People will bring their own chairs and they'll sit distanced from each other. The people will be in their homes, yes. They'll probably open the windows and come out and that kind of thing. It's going to be different. It's going to be exciting. I'm just amazed at how strategic our God is and how he gets things done. And folks, you don't need to fear. We are going to be, we got all our what you call it now, sanitizers. We have, everybody has to wear a mask if they're, you know, it's that kind of situation. So come prepared and bring your chair, please.
You said that it's going to be next to the canteen in Deacons?
Yes. Yes, next to Kurt's Canteen.
Opposite Kurt's.
Okay, so you're using that car park area opposite Kirk's Canteen, which is a fairly wide area. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Yes,
okay.
it is.
It's a fairly wide area. So you're coming to push the message in the community. Now, you mentioned that there are going to be some other crusades coming up, Nadia. Can you give us a little idea of maybe some of the communities you're looking to touch on next?
Here's what I will say, Natalie. In terms of crusade, we don't make the decisions in terms of what community we're going to. As Pastor Ross would have said earlier, we are led by the Holy Spirit. So when he tells us to move, when he tells us to go to a specific community, that's what we do. That's the absolute. It may sound crazy, but we are disciples of God, and we are led by his Spirit in whatever decisions that we make regarding his business.
Okay, so it means then that if it's all by the Lord, you are into the prophecies as well, because messages will come. Now, Pastor Aline, in terms of the message now, with all that you said before in terms of how people are hurting, what do they need most now in terms of being able to get to that place of comfort?
You mean as far as coming into a relationship with the Lord?
Yes, please.
You know, Wendy is so simple. The fact of the matter is that God loves us. He showed his love by what he did on Calvary. He left heaven and he came to earth because he loved each and every one of us. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're here naughty up or whether you smoke or spiff or whatever the case may be. The Lord, for God so loved the world that he gave, right? So that's the thing. It's about the love of God. And God is reaching out. The fact of the matter is he loves us. He wants us and he's reaching towards us. And all we have to do is respond and say, God, I might not understand all about you. I don't understand what these people are telling me, but really and truly, help me. I want you. I want to know you. That's it. That's it. People make it so difficult. You know, it's just a simple matter of acknowledging that Jesus is there. He gave his life and we want to be part of his kingdom. We want to be part of the future because there's an eternity, folks. We're not just living for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years or a little more if you're fortunate by the Lord to have additional years. But there is an eternity and we have to be conscious of that. So we can't
Yes.
live like if this life is all that we have. There is more. And eternity has no end. Folks.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And the Lord's mercy has no end either. So he's good to us all day, every day. Now, we are having Earthen Vessels Ministries International presenting their Revival Crusade for 2022 in Deacon's Farm. They're encouraging you to come and experience a move of the Holy Spirit. It runs from the 24th until the 26th of April, beginning at 7 p.m. nightly. We will have Pastor Julian Durant, Minister Nathalie Lane, Minister Petford Chase, and Apostle David Durant, along with our senior pastor there, Rosalind Allen. I want to wish you and Pastor Clark the best crusade ever, and also a happy Earth Day, and enjoy your upcoming weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you, Morning Barbados. Thank you, CBC. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, the producers. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Yes, we receive that blessing. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
When Morning Barbados returns, we'll be speaking with an entrepreneur, and you'll find out exactly how she's going to be applying herself, as well as getting to meet the second and third placers in Beige to the World. We'll be back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we're back. It's time now to talk with our second place winner of the Beige to the World Season 2, none other than Shante Allen Clark. Good morning to you, Shante.
Good morning.
Now, young lady, you had lots of people rooting for you. How did it feel when you saw them and you heard all that they had to say in terms of your performances?
I got so many feedback and it was so exciting because one and like everybody's just there to support you and give you the best encouragement you need on the night, and their energy helped me to perform even more than I already initially wanted to.
Okay, so that's awesome. The energy was boosting you on stage. Now, what do you think is going to happen when you get back to school?
gosh, I don't even want to go because I can just hear all the people coming to me. Are you Shanti? I was like, okay, I get it, but it's just exciting. But I honestly want to go back to school, especially to hear the comments.
Okay, so I guess your friends would have come and supported you on the night directly. So it's just now to see how the rest of the school plans and teachers, are going to react to it. Now that it's all settled in, what are you thinking of doing next? Are you going to continue on this path immediately? Are you just going to look at the CXCs and take a little break from it? What's the plan?
I'm not ready for CXCs yet. I'm 1 year fourth form.
Okay.
But
so you're not taking English early?
Not anymore.
Okay.
COVID, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
But I'm thinking of doing some studio work and pushing myself more as an artist, because normally after big competitions, I don't want to say sit back and relax, but I don't really sing as much. But yeah, so I'm looking to do that.
Okay, well that's awesome. Already located a studio you'll be working with?
No, please. I'm still looking for that.
Okay, so you're hearing Shantae this morning, producers. If you like her, let her know. Give her that opportunity. Now, let's talk about the genres and the actual performances. Which was better for you, the first half or the second?
I would have to say the second. I don't want to say I was feeling it more, but I was feeling it more, especially because soca was something I wanted to perform for a very long time. And when I got the opportunity, I realized how exhausting it was. So I had to find ways to conserve my energy. And I just wanted to give the best performance of my life. And it was so enjoyable. So I will definitely be singing more soca songs in the future.
Okay, that's awesome to note. What of the actual competition on the night? Were there a lot of nerves? Did you disconnect from the rest of the competitors so you could just be in your zone and in your head? How was it?
It was stressful. It really was stressful because you had a lot of things going through your mind, especially for me. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to do this wrong. But I just had to calm down, find my center, and relax and go on that stage and kill it.
Okay, let's watch a bit of your performance now.
Let's go!
Yes, you were into it, Shantae, and enjoying it. Why the medley as opposed to just a single song? And why the artist as well?
Normally, I would go for a male, and this time I wanted to represent the soca females, well, female of the Caribbean soca queen herself, Alison Hines. And I didn't want to do a medley because, single song, sorry. Because I think I wasn't really enjoying a single song. I wanted to give something more, spice it up a little. And I was thinking outside the box in terms of competition. I was thinking maybe this body might come with this, or single songs, so I was saying medley. Even before finals, I was saying medley. Yeah.
Okay, so you had yourself a place earmarked in this final from the get-go.
Yes.
Okay, every performance you were saying, yes, I will be in that final draft. I will be in that final draft. That's good. It's always great to be positive and push yourself. Now, the live audience, how was that for you? Because for the Beige to the World show, it would have always have been recorded shows. But how was it coming live?
It was a little scary at first because transitioning from no audience to an audience, you're thinking, for me, I always think, oh my God, this person looking at me is so hard. So I didn't honestly freak out, but I had to look over their heads. So that's what I did. And especially for my second song, again, their energy was also helping me to feed more energy to them and to my song.
Okay, that's great. Now, what about writing? Do you have any interest in actually scripting your own songs?
I actually wrote one song and co-wrote another, Stop the Violence and Have Hope, which I performed both songs in the competition. But writing, it's fun. You get to think, and I will be doing more of it for sure.
Okay, that's great. And I hope you're taking a CXC to help you in that regard. Shante, it's been great having you with us this morning. Shante Aline Clark, she's a second place winner of Beige to the World Season 2. And don't spend all that cash in one place, okay?
Yes, please.
All right, Shante, you have a great morning and enjoy yourself as you return to school. When we come back, we'll get to meet the third placer in Beige to the World.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And we're back. We're going to be hearing from Diane Jemmett, one of the Beige to the World Season 2 performers. She placed third in the competition. Let's see why.
I like to do things nice and easy. But you know what? Not tonight. You know why? Because we're a Beige to the World. So instead of doing it nice and easy, I'm gonna end it. Working for the man every night and day, but I never lost looking for the man every night and day. But I never lost 1 minute of sleep. I was worried about the way things would have been. Then wheels keep on turning, turning, rising. Keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling down the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling down the river.
And we're back. Diane Jemmett, welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning.
Now, all of that energy on stage, I'm sure that you're rested, revived. How does it feel now it's all sunk in?
I started still. Everywhere I go, people still remember me from Beach to the World.
Well, they should, because, I mean, you're in third place. We haven't had season 3 come up yet. So for all intents and purposes, you still are a Beige winner. So they need to keep remembering you. Now, what's next for you, Diane? I know you perform on the hotel circuit and so on, but outside of that, how else are you looking to build your career?
Well, I'm actually going in the studio this week. I just wrote a song, and I'm going to record it, and you'll hear it soon. I'm looking to come up for crop over. I just looking to get back out there.
Okay, that's great. You're gonna give me a little piece, a little snippet, just a line, nothing, no idea of whether it's slow, medium, or fast tempo,
It's
nothing
a
at
groovy
all.
soca. It's a groovy soca. That's all I can say.
Okay, groovy soca, Diane will be coming. Just yourself, or you and anybody else?
Just myself. And then soon I'm getting some other songs written from Kimberly Innes, and you'll hear from those shortly as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna look out for Diane for Crop Over 2022. Great to hear.
Yes.
Now, let's look back at the competition from the get-go. You know, you were one that the public was encouraging, pushing, talking about. How does all of that feel, knowing that you had their momentum behind you?
I felt really good, you know. I realized I had a lot of fans, and it was flattering. They really pushed me, and I'm happy.
Okay, now for the next set of people who want to get involved in Beige to the World Season 3, what would you tell them?
Go for it. Once you got a talent, it could be playing an instrument, dancing, anything, just go for it. Beige to the World is going to help you grow.
And what would you say when you entered the competition, where your growth was at? Let's go on a scale of 1 to 10. When you started versus where you're at now on that scale.
I would say I started at like a 5, 6, and I would say I've grown to about a 9, 10.
Okay, see, so that's tremendous growth there on your part. Now, let's talk about the music genres and performances in Barbados. COVID would have impacted significantly. Now that we're out of it, what do you want to see return to the Barbadian entertainment landscape?
I would like everything to go back to how it was.
But there's a new normal, Diane, so how are you going to be able to work around it? We have to accept it and work within those parameters.
Well, I just taking everything as it comes. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I do what you got to do today.
Okay, it is very true. Do what you have to do today, Diane, and that's awesome to know. So, Beige to the World, 3rd place winner, Diane Jemmett. She would have done the Tina Turner performance along with her tutu. Tell me about that tutu, Diane. It had a lot of people, saying, yes, we're here for it.
Well, both my outfits were made by Pauline Bellamy. I loved all of them, and it was different for me. I never come out in public like that before, but it was very fulfilling experience. I
Okay.
enjoyed it.
You seem to, because you did tell me that your dancing shoes were ready for the final, and now, you know, you had them on and you were ready to go in the competition. So when you say you've not been on stage like that before, you would say that you were mostly conservative in terms of coming on stage?
Very, actually. I'm very conservative person.
Okay.
So that's the first for me ever.
So now that you've come out of that box, are you going back in? Diane, are you going back in?
Yes.
Are you going back in that box now you've come out?
No.
So when I see you for Crop Over 2022, expect something bigger.
Yep. Bigger and better.
Blowing the stage up, Diane Javert.
Yes.
Now, in terms of this performance and the other, which was your favorite?
Well, I would go with Tina Turner because she's my idol, so I just love Tina Turner. So I would always choose Tina.
Okay, and lots of other people will always choose Tina as well, Diane. Now, the competition of itself and how it all went down, were you really happy and thrilled with the outcome and how everything went?
Not really. I was a little shocked that it came third, but it is what it is. There can only be one winner.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you, Diane Jemmett, and congratulate you again on your third place in Beige to the World Season 2. I wish you an awesome weekend and happy Earth Day to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great one. When the Morning Barbados returns, we will be talking to Tanuke Ashok Ro, and she will be telling us all about how to apply yourself now.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's time now to talk to someone who's interested in helping other young people. She's interested in helping them in terms of their entry into the world of work. Tanukino Ashok Ro, she's passionate about helping people so much that she's recently began her Get Hired program, which seeks to help Barbadians as well as members from the region gain meaningful employment. The former student of the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Primary and Secondary School said initially she wanted to be a lawyer, but she realized she wanted to help others achieve their full potential. So her self-improvement company, Apply Yourself Now, has been helping people through the pandemic, especially those who hear they don't have enough experience. Good morning to you.
Hi, morning.
Yes, good morning. Now, you decided to come into a different type of entrepreneurship where you're helping to teach people how they can find a job. Why this particular area?
Because I have been working from the age of, I guess, roughly 9. Not really legal, but that's what I had to do. Basically, I was always interested in learning new things, and I believe it's important because at the end of the day, if you don't have a job, you can't do anything. You can't pay bills, you can't go to school. So it's the most important aspect of life.
Okay, and you're encouraging them as well to become entrepreneurial, not just to learn about how to work for others.
Everyone can't work for people, and if everybody works for people, there will be no jobs because there will be no employers. So at the end of the day, it's a full circle. Everything is connected, and not just work as an entrepreneur, not just be an entrepreneur, but you can work and have a career, and you can still have a skill. You can take that skill, you can monetize the skill and have money coming in, and maybe hire someone else and create more jobs and still be at your job. You know, you can have a job, you can have a skill, you can have an extra business. It's having multiple streams of income. That's the end result, because that's what I do. So that's what I'm passing on to others.
That's what I was just going to get to, the fact that you're a serial entrepreneur. What are some of the endeavors that you've gotten into?
I have a real estate company. I have a marketing company. Obviously, you know about the recruiting company and the self-improvement. The academy that's attached to it, where we do skills. And our skills training is not the typical skills training where you would have sitting down in a classroom. And because I don't really believe in that aspect fully. You need to have a hands-on approach, and I find that's lacking here. You have to practically apply your knowledge in order to really understand what you're doing. A lot of skills here, you have the classroom aspect, we don't have the practical aspect. A lot of people have the passes in subjects and they can't apply them. So for me, how our academy works is if you want to do mechanics, we partner with a company and they actually put you in there. You get your hands right into the car, you know, the grease on your nails. That's how you actually learn. A lot of people are not driven towards probably maths and English and stuff like that, but they are very skilled. They can pick down a car and put it back up. They can pick down a cell phone and put it back up. And a lot of these people are getting overlooked. And even in terms of the youth, people are saying they want 50 CXCs to do sweeping, but then they can't pay you when you go to UE or BCC and you come with your masters. They can't afford to pay you, so they say. And then there's some people who are not even paying the people. People are working, they're not being paid. And that's a big pet peeve for me. If you work, you're supposed to get your money and not just survive. You're supposed to thrive. It's not just to work and pay bills. You know, that's crazy. And I think people need to stand up. People need to stand up. They need to stand up for themselves. They need to understand the laws. They need to understand what are the rules, what are the obligations of the employer, what are their rights, what are their responsibilities on both ends, the employer and the employee. Because at the end of the day, your employee is your first customer. That's your internal customer. And if they're not happy, they can't make anybody else happy. We say the customer is always right. And that's not true. There's no absolute. There's certain situations where you have to understand the customer cannot be right because they're going to be detrimental to your company. And you have to know when to choose what type of customer you want for your company, because that customer can bring more customers that can pull down your company name and your standard, and your reputation for your company is all you have. So you need to make sure you have the right customer coming in. It's not just about the money. It's also about standard. You have to set a gold standard. And if the customer doesn't respect your workers, then, you know, it doesn't make sense.
I'm very glad you spoke to that this morning, to Nukino, because people assume that you can walk into a building and treat individuals just about any which way because you're paying them money at the end of the day. So I'm glad that you understand that employees have rights and we as consumers need to be a little bit more mindful of how we treat the people. Now, during the pandemic, you had a couple pluses in terms of being able to get some people hired. Tell me about that process and the numbers that you were able to put into employment.
Well, during the pandemic, I would say roughly between 100 to maybe 250 people. And what people don't understand, they assume that because of the pandemic that people will not be hiring. People are still hiring, but it is the level of, because obviously too, people were sick with COVID, you know, so they would need staff. And this was the perfect time, actually. It was called the perfect storm, where you have things going on that creates the perfect opportunity for something to happen that improves the society. Because at the end of the day, obviously you couldn't have skilled people all the time during the pandemic because they would be sick. So this is the time where the youth and other people who would not have had the experience, but they did have the skills, they did have the personality. You can't teach personality. You can train someone, they can come out 100% with it within a course, and still they don't have that personality, that spark, that je ne sais quoi. So at the end of the day, these people got to shine at this time because people got to see the skills that they had overall, the natural, innate ability they had to present excellent customer service. So when they got that opportunity, a lot of these people went on to get full-time jobs, whereas before, without the pandemic, they would have been overlooked because they would say, oh, we just want people that went to Palmarine or the people that studied overseas. And at the end of the day, sometimes you're overlooking assets because you can train and mold someone that doesn't have experience. They don't have bad habits. I'm not saying all the time that happens, but some people get set in their ways because if they did something for 10 years, say, well, I did this for 10 years, I work at Sunny Lane and no one ever had an issue with it. So why should they come here and no one change? But each company has a different SOP, standing operating procedure. So even if you come from Sandals, you have to train different for Sandy Lane. So why not train the person overall?
To be able to do all. Exactly. That's important. Well, I want to wish you well as you continue to help more young people with your Apply Yourself Now program and encourage them as well to become their own employers. That was Tanukino Ashankro, and she's out there doing major things for our young people between the ages of 16 and 31. Congrats to you. Continue to be the serial entrepreneur as well, and have an awesome weekend.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Morning Barbados, it's coming close to the weekend. It's Friday, and we are ready to go. It's time to become unleashed. Yes, Crop Over Unleashed this Saturday. I will be there at 9 at the Globe Drive-In. You can still get your tickets from Rotary. The general admission is $100 per person, and you have to ensure that you are fully vaccinated or have that test, that negative test, within 24 hours to the staging of the event. Also coming up this weekend, we have the COB Credit Union's People Choice winner, Rebecca Carter of Beige to the World. COB wants to say congrats to you, Rebecca. You have a great and brilliant weekend as well. So let's just enjoy her because she was in winner's row as well. So here now is Rebecca Carter, the COB Credit Union People's Choice winner. It's been fun bringing you Morning Barbados today. Enjoy the weekend. Lots to do. Go on up to St. Andrew Walkers. Enjoy that and all the rest that there is. I'm Wendy Burke.
Raise all hands in the air. Everybody show me something. Show me something. All hands in the air. Show me. Show me. A new day dawning, infecting, calling, no time for stalling. Let's go, let's go. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Meet me on the road. New inspiration, deliberation, no contemplation. Let's go, let's go. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Meet me on the road. Show me something, show me something. All hands in the air, show me, show me. Two hands in the air, oh yeah, yeah. Two hands in the air, oh yeah. Everybody show me something, show me something. All hands in the air, show me, show me. Let's go, hey. Put him up, put him up, put him up, put him up, put him up. Raise it. Hey. Raise it. Hey. Raise it.
Get up. Good morning.